And we're back, and we just finished watching 2018's Freaks, written and directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein. Not exactly a horror movie per se, but there were elements of a thriller, sci-fi, drama, and the fact that there are others that walk among us that people are fearing. It tells the story of a little girl named Chloe who lives sequestered in this big rundown house with her father, Henry, I think.
Yeah.
And who
played Henry? He
Emile Hirsch.
Emile Hirsch.
Yeah. And you come to find out that things aren't exactly what they seem. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was okay. It was basically the X-Men.
She had like these supernatural powers.
The titular freaks were people who, for some reason, it's never explained why people at some point in this world's history somehow develop superpowers of varying kinds. And then they make allusions to a tragedy that happened where the entire city of Dallas was obliterated by one of these freaks or abnormals. After that point, all of them were rounded up. They're supposed to be shipped off to this community just for people with these powers called Mount something. And unfortunately, I think the issue was this. I think the city was blown up by a child. And that was like what the problem was. Children who have these powers were pretty much just executed on sight.
Right.
And so obviously Henry is going to do everything he can to protect his child
and try to make her into a normal.
Try to have her live as normal a life as possible. The mother apparently went to this mountain to, I guess, try and liberate it or something like that, and winds up
getting caught.
And winds up getting caught and believed to be dead. And so the father and the daughter, who apparently was a baby when it happened.
Yeah. And they all seem to have varying powers. Even the grandfather had.
Yeah, that's why
everyone had like specific powers, and they were all different.
That's why it was sort of like the X-Men. Everybody had their own abilities, you know?
Yeah, and although it seemed like Chloe's powers were more encompassing, because at one point I thought she could stop time or move through time, and that's how she was getting into these other situations, like when she goes into the sleepover and stuff. I thought she was like traveling.
I think her powers were more mental, in that she was able to basically project herself into other people's realities and other people's realities into her reality. Them. And she was also able to control people, both whether she was in her reality or in their reality.
So she's basically Jean Grey.
She's like Jean Grey with the Phoenix power. She could do. This kid could do pretty much anything, and she's just a little kid, and it starts out where she really doesn't know what the hell's going on. Right. You know, it's just like she sees her mom, or she sees the ghost lady, and she's just some lady who lives in her closet, and it's not, for the mother, it's not the child's closet, it's like a holding cell or something.
Basically, yeah.
And the next door neighbor girl is just... I gotta be honest, I felt bad for the next door neighbor girl. She wasn't a mean kid. She was just being tormented by this
little kid,
this ghost, this little girl that could just like enter her mind and make her do things. Mm. And it wasn't that Chloe was being malicious about it. It's just
she wanted family.
She wanted family. She desperately wanted family.
She desperately wanted to be a regular kid.
Yeah, and her
that
father
got ice cream, that had a mother, that had a father, that had a sibling.
Yeah, and her father was pretty much so desperate to protect her that he became like super paranoid. And the nature of his power led her to grow up for like 7 years, where he was basically it. There's the two of them living in that dilapidated
house. Yeah.
That dilapidated house where, I mean, God, what the hell are they eating? Like Tang and Gatorade?
Just canned foods. Canned foods, yeah.
Cereal and whatnot. Overall, I mean, I think it was a good film. I wouldn't say it was the greatest film I've ever watched.
No. It was good entertainment. I think it was a good script. It was interesting. I found myself being, especially in the beginning, I wasn't clear on what was going on. As the story progressed, I think I got more of a handle on the storyline. Like I said, when I was originally watching it, I thought like maybe she's slipping through pieces in time where she's traveling.
Well, I think the trailers made it gave it more of a horror bent, because in the trailer, all you really see is there's like a scene with Bruce Dern and the little girl and the cop.
And that's really creepy, that scene.
It's very strange and disturbing, because like you said, in the beginning you kind of don't really know what is going on. Yeah. You don't know that superpowers are involved. You don't know if reality is what it is, because there are points when the child looks out the window of her house and everything is still. Still,
yes, like the birds are
nothing is moving. The birds are just stuck in the sky, doing what just floating there, not even moving. So you're left wondering, like, what the hell is going on?
And there was something creepy about Bruce Dern. I mean, eventually you...
Bruce Dern could have been a little bit more open from the get-go. He was just like this crazy ice cream man. No,
but he seemed like an a-hole. I was like, weird, like, what is going on here? Yeah. And that scene was intense, because then he turns to the little girl and he's like, get rid of him. Yeah. He's one of the bad people, and it was so weird.
He's gonna kill you.
And it's weird living in the days that we're living, where there's a spotlight on police brutality and instances of police rushing to kind of diffuse a situation, but maybe not in the best manner. Yeah. And this was definitely in that vein as well. Yeah, I mean, overall, decent film. Good performances. The little kid was outstanding.
The little girl. What was her name?
Her name is Lexy Kolker.
She was outstanding.
She was outstanding for a little kid.
Good actress for a little kid, especially a little kid playing the roles where there's like anger and resentment and trauma and sadness, and you could see it. Her eyes. She
very expressive.
She expressed her emotions so well.
And I love that end shot where it's like determination, like, I'm never going to live in fear or hiding ever again.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a little scary too.
Yes, in a way.
Because you have you could see why people are really just freaked out about these freaks.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this little girl has the power of a god. I mean, she could make people do whatever she wants from miles and miles away.
Right. Yeah.
Like, she doesn't even have to be in the same room with anybody to make them do what they do.
Right.
And that's kind of disturbing. I mean,
it didn't seem like a big budget movie. Everything, the story moved well.
For what budget they had, they did well with
what they. Yeah, I think I was more impressed than you. I think you're kind of like, it was okay. It wasn't. I think I was more impressed with it. It was definitely different. This isn't something that you come across every day, and I think all the acting was really well done, with a special shout out to that little kid. She was phenomenal. I mean, I was riveted to every scene that she was in, because it's like you feel bad for her, and then you're like, okay, what's going on? And then she becomes like you said, kind of like this deity. And the ending is really, it's out there. I was watching it and I was thinking about, I was like, oh, we should have watched Brightburn, because that's like a movie where
Brightburn, you can see similar with Brightburn. I was actually thinking Midnight Special.
Oh, that's excellent too. Yeah.
This felt more akin to Midnight Special. But you know what? It's funny. I would say I think the issue with the film is that the film started out in such a weird place.
Right, because from where it starts to where it ends, it's very, and especially if you're not coming into knowing anything about it.
There is a point in the film where it just sort of takes a hard right, and you just realize, oh, this is like a superhero movie.
Yes.
And it's sort of like you go in feeling this one way, that it's going to be this sort of like spooky mystery thing. And then it's just, it's a superhero movie. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with superhero movies. Right. I love superhero movies. But when you're going in and I would say it goes in pretty deep. You're about maybe 40 minutes in when you realize
what's going on.
This is just a superhero movie. And I hate saying just a superhero movie, but it's a different genre, and you're not. It's like, I'm going out in a heavy snowstorm. I got all my snow boot supplies on, and then like halfway through your journey, it's like a hot summer day, and you're just like, why am I wearing all this crap? So yeah, that sort of jarred me, and it may get a point taken away for that. It's a good superhero movie. It started out as a good spooky movie.
Yes.
But there's no end to that spooky movie. It just veers off into superhero
something else.
territory.
Yes, I agree. And it's funny because originally when we sat down to watch it, just the weirdness of it in the beginning, I was like, are there aliens that came to Earth? Or are there zombies? Or
could you trust anybody outside? Or any of these people real? Are they human?
Yes.
Or like you're like
and like when the whole thing about teaching her to be normal, I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Stuff like that. The father's eye just starts bleeding. I don't know if like, is there some sort of disease going on?
Yes.
They're living in such squalor.
Yes.
If something bad happens, what happens? Oh, I go hide in my closet. It was very. There was a lot of weirdness in the beginning that you don't expect in a superhero movie, and then suddenly it's just like superhero movie.
You know, it's interesting. You know what? Like I said, I was thinking of Brightburn only because in this particular movie, the agent she's kind of cold-blooded because they want this kid almost like to train them to be. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a super soldier kind of thing for them.
The agent's role is also very strange because it's like she is trying to change the system where it would be that they don't have to instantly murder children. But
I feel like she's willing to.
Yeah, but she's like, but we're not going to murder these kids because we could use them as tools. She even says it. She's like, imagine if we can get one of these kids when they're young and just teach them to act normal and not act like a freak and use their powers for our benefit.
Right. And so it's very nefarious.
There's a bit of nefariousness, and even at the end, I mean, she's totally willing to
kill this kid.
Yeah, I'll kill the kid, but it would be nice if you willingly sacrificed your life and let us take her. You think maybe she's got like a heart, but she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
She is just cold.
She's cold, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting twist too. But all in all, what would you give this movie?
Overall, I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. 6.5, 7. I think
6.5, 7.
It's better than average. It's not the best thing I've ever seen. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. A lot of interesting setup.
Yeah,
the performances were all good. The little girl in particular was outstanding. Like I was like, I want to see more stuff with her in it. I can't wait. Yeah. I would love to watch her career. I think she definitely.
Yeah,
she can. Yeah, she definitely has talent.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Dern was good.
Bruce Dern was great.
But also that was another thing. Like that lent itself to that whole creepy atmosphere.
Yes.
It's like, where is this weird ice cream man dressed in blue, and he's like saying all this weird stuff. He's just like, come with me. And
yes, the first time that she interacts with him, and I'm like, as a parent, I'm looking at you like, how does he know her name? How does he know her name?
I was like, is this guy like a devil or a monster that lives outside?
And he looks weird, right? There's just something.
Oh god, he had so much hair coming out of his nose. Crazy.
Well, that's just age.
They had these upshots of his nose, and I'm like, that's either like jam packed with snot, or he could braid that. Emile Hirsch is good.
Amanda Crew, who plays the mother, Mary, is great.
Yeah, she's not in it too much, but she does a really great job.
Grace Park. I mean, I think those are it for like the main characters. You have the Reeds across the street.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it takes you on a ride down a creepy road, and then it just bangs a hard left into superhero town. So if you're into just creepy stuff, I don't know if this is gonna be good for you. I think a person watching a superhero movie would probably be more satisfied than somebody looking for
something
a creepy mystery horror adventure.
Not to get off on a tangent, but we haven't seen this movie lately, but now that I think about it, this is probably the movie we should have seen tonight, 1932's Freaks.
One of us,
yes. But if you're looking for more horror, definitely check that out, 1932's Freaks.
For an old 1932 movie, there is some creepy
stuff in it, yeah.
The ending is ridiculous.
Yes, bonkers, yes, agreed.
It's so silly, ridiculous.
Yes. But this movie, yeah, I mean, if you've seen Midnight Special, if you've seen Brightburn, this might be in your wheelhouse. Really strong performances, decent script, good FX, good set design, good art direction.
And even though we didn't see this with our kids, because maybe we were thinking it was going to be too...
Yeah, because just that clip of Bruce Dern with her and the cop.
But I gotta be honest, I don't think the kids would have a problem. Because I would say halfway through, Olive came down.
Our 8-year-old came down,
and she was like actually cheering at the end.
Yes.
So.
yes, she was very happy that Chloe. Got out okay. So that's it from us. Check it out if you're so inclined. If you want, this is obviously not a horror movie.
You say it's on Netflix?
Did I say it's on Netflix?
Oh, if you didn't,
there you go. It's currently streaming on Netflix. But if you...
Be careful, though. There's 2 freak movies on
There's 2 freak movies. If you want something with more of a horror slant, absolutely check out 1932's Tod Browning's Freaks.
But that's actually the 3rd Freaks movie. I'm talking just on Netflix. There's 2.
Oh, is there?
There's 2 films called Freaks.
Oh, how funny. I was thinking about the Browning movie from 1932.
That's the original classic.
That's the original classic with sideshow people, right? They had
with genuine sideshow performers.
Yes,
half men and
an hour and 2 minutes, 62 minutes. You can't go wrong with that. Black and white.
It's got a good story.
It's got a great story.
The ending, is seriously, it's just bonkers, and you'll either just be like, "What?" or you'll laugh.
Yeah.
But up until that, it's got some good creepy visuals. You could see why back in the old days they actually banned that movie.
Okay, and that's more horror suspense than this, but I mean. Not bad fare, not a bad film, but yes, if you want something more creepy, go way, way back to 1932 and watch Tod Browning's Freaks. That's it from us. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll come back with another review soon. Good night.
Good night.